Hi everybody, Jason here again. I'm giving you a little bit of heads up onto this first group assignment due by the end of this week. This is the first, or I guess you could say second piece. Environmental planning is the name of the topic, and you'll see the chart required, and this is the format that you'll see for the rest of the course very, very similarly. Now, this is a collaborative piece, so in your groups, you're going to have to divvy up the workload. That is to say, if you've got 10 items and 5 people in your group, each group member should take 2 items. And make sure that as you post these things for your final assignment, you indicate which of those components were yours, so I can give you the appropriate grade. Make sure that there's some participation going on. The specifics for this one, as you look through the environmental planning component, the form is asking a number of things, specifically Goal 1 planning. As an example, we have reviewed the Guide to Environmental Stewardship on the golf course and understand the resource. This resource will help us to conduct various environmental projects and practices. Now, to the right, you'll see there's a checkbox for yes, partial, no, and planned efforts. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be much of an activity if all you had to do was make a check mark. You wouldn't really learn anything. So what I'm asking you guys to do is, and again, this is going to help you when you get into your own courses if you decide to pursue this, is get very specific about what they're asking you here. We have reviewed the Guide to Environmental Stewardship on the golf course. So it's easy to just say yes. But how will you do that? Will you print out this thing and make a textbook available to all your staff in the shop? Will it become part of your training program? Will it be made available at orientation? Some of these kinds of things that I'd like you to deal with as team members. Like I said, you may, for this first one, you only have 2 items for each component. So I want you to be very thorough. And the expectation is you've got a template here for planned efforts that is very, very realistic, that you can take back to your club or someone else's club or any club in the form of this template and implement without too much guesswork. Similarly, with things such as item 3, we evaluate progress towards goals and objectives at least once per year. Well, it's very easy to say, yes, we evaluate them once a year. Well, how do you evaluate your goals? What does that look like? How often do you do this, and who do you do it with? Again, be very specific about what you're doing here. I'm going to be relatively critical with you as far as the detail that you've been able to provide. I want to make sure that you've done all the guesswork. You've thought this out very, very well, and all there needs to do at this point, following this submission, is implement with a great list and route to do so. So, as you look at that environmental planning, please talk amongst your group. Make sure everybody knows which ones they're working on, and then devise a collaborative tool which you can all contribute to and submit as one single submission. As I mentioned earlier, groups in the past have produced websites. Relatively easy to do these days, and is an easy way to keep all your information together, all working on the same piece, and be able to walk away with something at the end of all this. So again, that's one option. Alternatively, obviously, in these little check boxes, there's not a lot of space for you to elaborate, so you will need to create links to external files. The Google Drive is gonna be very useful for you, and be sure to consider some of those options to address the volume of information that's going to go into this and in every form from here on in. So take a few minutes before you get going and decide a good way to pursue this activity, because all the others are going to follow in the similar sort of format. So sooner than later, talk amongst your team and decide on who's doing what. Be sure to submit your final report onto Moodle, and again, it's due by Sunday at midnight. Thanks again, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.